From a super secret location deep within the mountains of Colorado, it's time to strap up, strap in, or strap on with your host, Shenanigans in One Shot. It's From the Ashes Radio!
Well, and therein lies the rub, is sometimes there's too many stupid things to find just one private Carl.
I was about to go somewhere and find one real quick.
Or just settle on one. Is
I
that the
feel
end?
like it's just been a hell of a week for both of us.
No argument for me. No argument here at all.
I mean, usually I send you at least a dozen a week.
You
send me at least 2 dozen. So when we have a week where we're not sending each other Carls back and forth, we've both had a week.
Oh, it's yes.
I mean, you're wearing it more openly than I am right now. I think.
Let's see what you're doing there.
Welcome to From the Ashes on About Face Radio. I am One Shot Seth. And my co-host
you are. Rob Shenanigans Williams.
I think it sounds better when you say it's Robert.
Robert
Shenanigans.
No question.
But it's just my opinion. I mean, the only people who like my opinions,
fellas.
You know.
Nathan Hucker, it's good to see you, bud.
Yes, sir.
So I didn't get around to sharing this to the world on social media and whatnot until probably noonish or just around lunchtime-ish.
Okay.
We had questions coming in almost immediately. Like people are asking, "Hey, what are you talking to Eli Gardner about? What about this? What about that?" And I'm like, you know, we're not live yet, right? You can wait until the show is live and then you can ask these questions. We don't go live for another 6 hours. So, I mean, as far as I know, it's going to be a good interview as well. If you haven't gotten her book yet, folks, you absolutely need to. So it's going to be a good one. Got some good guests coming up in the very near future, too.
We have some very cool guests coming up.
I'm pretty excited. Starting in August, we'll have a group called Visionary Veterans, which sounds very blasé. Visionary Veterans. Oh, what do they do? That can't be too bad. They're all about like the psychedelics and all that stuff. You're going to like them, folks. Who else we got? We got some other good. We were just going through the list a little while ago.
Yeah, we have that I swear put together by God moment between you, me, and that Molly's.org.
Yup.
Molly's Miracles.
Molly's Miracles. That's
really
going to be
pumped about that one.
Yes. When you get excited about something, it's infectious, and so yeah, I'm kind of excited.
I think you're the only person that says that.
I'm
the only person that vocalizes it, but
which makes me excited about what's to come.
When I called you, and you know it's serious when I call you because I prefer to text. Yeah, we all know that's bullshit. I don't like to text, folks. I hate it. I think it detaches communication from people. Like we're like getting so honed into screens that I'm just not a big texter, right? But I called Rob and I was like, dude, I heard this story about, I think, arguably the greatest human being of all time. Maybe the greatest human being of all time. And anyway, because of her and her life, there's this .org that helps people out. And her dad happened to be sitting next to me at a concert. And we struck up a conversation.
Well, you got to kick off the Crocs.
I got to kick off the Crocs. Got to get the testosterone levels back up.
Which reminds me, go to Combat Flip Flop, folks, and enter the code About Face. You'll get 30% off of your flip flops. We get 15% of your 30% off. Love our friends at Combat Flip Flops. And it looks like Griff just got married. So if you're on Instagram, send Griff a congratulations. So, but yeah. So when you say greatest human being on the planet, and it's Molly's Miracles, you said, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one as well. It's going to be.
I sent that story to about half a dozen people.
Really?
Is it just me, or is it really that good of a story? And that half a dozen wrote me back like either within a day, but 3 or 4 of them were like 10 minutes later. They read it real quick and was like, "Oh, yeah, we all suck. Yeah. None of us are doing.
None of us have lived up to our potential.
No, in life. Not at all." So anyway, I'm happy to have them on, talk about a lot of different work that they do, and then we got some jiu-jitsu people coming up. We got some fun stuff.
I agree. It's going to be a good summer.
I feel like we have to work really hard not to saturate the show with jiu-jitsu because we like it so much.
There is that.
But I feel like sometimes we almost unsaturate it too much. We need some
more jiu-jitsu. And it's been a good jiu-jitsu week. I had a really good time. What was it? I don't normally go to your Friday nooners class.
No, that's a rough class.
And I had a really, really good time last Friday.
It's fun.
Because you're like, oh, you ought to roll with that guy. And I was like the biggest dude in the room. And I walked over and poked him in the eye. I was like, what's up? And he beat me like a stepchild the day after Christmas. I had a really good time. I enjoyed it.
I
Yeah.
love how you texted me and you're like, hey, so that Zach guy, I don't know him that well. Are you really good friends with him? I'm like, dude, he's like one of my best friends of 15 years. He's pretty good. Yeah, he's really fucking good.
Yeah. But isn't that the fun of jiu-jitsu? Go find the guy that looks like he just took his handcuffs off and poke him in the eye and see what happens.
Yeah.
Because the opposite of that is the Chris Carters, the nicest guy on the planet. You'd never know. He's just so sweet. He is the nicest guy ever.
Nice.
And then he cross faces you.
Yeah. Or then he holds onto your wrist so bad I feel like a rape victim.
How is he shaped like that? I don't understand it.
I don't know.
I've been watching that show, what is it, Chimpanzee Empire, I think it's called. And I can't watch the show without thinking of him.
Yeah, he's built.
Because the only thing he's missing is like the knuckle drag marks on his knuckles from like walking on his knuckles.
He's a handful. Fucking handful.
So you guys had promotions, was it last week? Last Tuesday, 2 Tuesdays ago?
Yeah, it was last Tuesday. So
who got promoted?
Fresh new belts.
I saw that. I saw a couple of them.
I'm trying to think if there's any show related ones. I don't think this round of promotions had people that are.
Andy, old crusty Andy, comes to yoga every Friday night. So
yeah,
I was pretty excited to see.
I was very pumped for that one. I mean, because I don't coach him all the time. I see Andy a little bit.
He's so humble and chill and relaxed.
But the guy who coaches him, who's a good friend of mine, and he kept calling me. He's like, "Bro, I got this guy. You just love it."
Are you hearing this?
Great. Yes.
Are you hearing this, folks? It sounds like a running Harley Davidson is sitting next to me. What the hell? Is he not breathing well? He's the vanilla gorilla. Never enough BJJ. Oh, good. Our good friend Puha Takarska Pahanafit is watching. Who the heck is that? It's got to be like somebody from India or some shit.
Maybe you're. Maybe it's like.
Are we big in Japan?
You never know. Hey, it's we're on the interweb.
Right?
Anybody could be watching.
Good Lord. Does he sleep near you?
He sleeps with me. I told you I'm on this.
How do you sleep?
After the tragedy.
We need to get this thing a CPAP.
It's like arm's reach.
He needs a CPAP. Good Lord.
Yeah.
That's hysterical.
Bulldogs.
So yeah. So Private Carl.
Yes.
So I've been spending a lot of time at the gym lately.
Okay.
Get up in the morning. Life is good. And it was clean and jerks, wall balls, and jump rope. Cool. Life is good. Doing my thing. I clean, press it up into the sky, and then just brought it right fucking down on the bridge of my nose.
So you did your clean, but you didn't bring it down very clean.
The rule is you're supposed to move the barbell around your head, not your head around the barbell. And I did neither of those things. There's nothing funnier than watching the guy in the corner crush his face with a fucking barbell and then go, "Oh, fucking damn it." So yeah. And now you have to walk around like that. And if anyone asks, I got into a huge fight. Yeah. Busload of nuns driving down the street. Biker gang pulls up, starts messing with them. It was just me and Roger. I kicked all their asses. Now I have a broken nose. No big deal.
Do you know
whatever?
For our regular listeners, if you guys remember, what was it, about 8 months ago, maybe 10 months ago? We were on the show talking about that weird ring you had around your eye. Yeah. Well, when you have a face like this, it's hard not to beat it up a lot. This hurts a lot to do. I'm sure.
Can't wait to hear from Ellie. I wonder if it's Ellie, Eli. I'm pretty sure it's Ellie. What? Should we bring her on a little early?
I think we should. They're more excited about
her. Clearly Jessica Giadoni is excited to have her. Yeah. So all right, let's bring. Ellie has been chilling in the green room. So let's.
I like it when our guests show up at the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
It like helps them out.
Yeah. Yeah. So they could be like, fuck, I gotta
just jump in.
I gotta find a way to get out of
what
this.
we're talking about.
Well, she hasn't shit herself and faked a seizure in the room yet to get out of this.
Have we had somebody do that?
Probably.
Oh.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Eli Gardner.
Hi guys,
How the heck are you?
I'm good, and it is Eli and your co-host, the dog, adorable. Well, you guys too.
He's he's fighting for consciousness and losing the fight right this second. So
So cute.
dude, so I put it out this morning that you were going to be on, or lunchtime-ish, that you're on the show and whatnot, and people are sending in questions like before we're even live, and I'm like, hey, this is not how live radio works, but I really appreciate your enthusiasm. So
I
you have
know.
a large fan base. So
I
people
can't
are-
explain it. It's a budding fan base. I'm blessed to have them. For some reason, they're along for the ride, and one of
Shall we-
them's tuning in from India.
even you fuck his face from India, whatever the heck his name is. I don't even know. But whatever, man. Well, Eli, welcome to From the Ashes. I'm so glad that you had absolutely nothing better to do. That you could be here with us. Before we get into who you are, I would like to highlight something that has come to pass because of our stupid little radio show. A
Hell
few
yeah.
weeks ago, we had one of our favorite interviews, Exit Wounds Jewelry, on.
Mhm.
Exit Wounds Jewelry, Amanda, connected with Eli, and now they are like homegirls now. Correct me if I'm wrong on this?
No, you're right. That's my sister. That's my girl. I'm actually wearing the swag. So so I reached out to her, I think, because of your guys' show, and I sent her.
I'm not going to reach out to anybody because of our show. That's amazing.
I know. So thank you. We decided to do a trade. So I sent her all 5 of my books, and she said she'd send me a bracelet, and I was already like, that's super generous because these are these take time and money. So she read all 4 of the poem books in 4 days, and she made a bracelet for each one. Actually, I have them all here because I was hoping you would ask me. So this is for Hookah Smoke and Hellfire. She like purposefully put in every single stone. She put uniform buttons on the end as latches. She hooked me up, and she's like my new best friend. So
Awesome.
We're awesome.
Yeah.
We're really good at what we do. Holy
We should
God.
just start matchmaking best friends.
We absolutely.
Not like romantic relationships.
Yeah.
I'm not on that bullshit. No.
No.
Yeah, definitely. We should start hooking up homies. Well, so what's cool about this, in my mind and heart, is the veteran population is very small. We're 1% of the population. Now condense that even further, the female veteran population is even smaller. So the
Yes.
fact that you guys were able to connect and be like, "What up, homegirl? High five, dog!" And you guys are friends. That really, really makes me happy in a huge way. So yeah.
Yes, absolutely. You're so right. And not even in that, but like to take it further, the women who went down range, and we both happened to go to the same area. So I was at Kandahar, and she was pretty much right outside of Kandahar. So we have that joint experience. I saw it from a different perspective, of course. Like she was a little baddie on the ground, and I was doing aerial overwatch, and I never left the base. But I was able to give her kind of a broader perspective from my books, and she was able to give me a more zoomed in perspective, and we bonded over that as well. So super cool.
I was in our before. My crew chief used to make a joke all the time. We were going to have to watch the CNN series or the History Channel series about what happened in the Iraq War. All we saw was the inside of our little helicopter. We had no idea what was actually going on.
Yes, so zoomed in.
Yeah, exactly. So I love that this has happened this way, and the fact that you guys are both doing super cool things within the veteran community only makes this even a better story. So I see a 6th book on the horizon. So yeah.
Me too, Rob. Thanks.
Now that has been said, and we brought you on a little bit early, tell us who Eli is.
Absolutely. So, of course, I'm a veteran. I'm an Air Force nerd, and I did military contracting as well. So between the Air Force and the contracting, I did 13 deployments. So that was essentially my job. And to hone it in even further, like I said, I did aerial overwatch. So I overwatched like thousands of combat missions, right, all over the Middle East. And all of that fuels most of my books. I've I've written and published 5 now through this company, Abracadabra Inc., all in the last year and a half. It's just been like a fast and furious year of inspiration, but most of it comes from the deployments. And not just that, but because I have like that wider perspective, I try and show that to the world. Things that people think are like ugly on the surface, like war, like Afghanistan, like even heartbreak, I try and show people the other side of it, like the beauty I saw in Afghanistan or the lessons we can learn from heartbreak. So I take my readers through a journey of these kind of seemingly heavier topics, but it's in the end, it's a healing journey.
So I misunderstood. Are you the printer and as well as the author? Are you like a single company? Abracadabra Inc. What is that?
It's basically like a label I can slap on all my endeavors. So I self-publish and I self-publish through Amazon, but Abracadabra Inc. is just kind of a label, a catch-all umbrella, if you will, for everything I want to do going forward.
You're comprending now. Got it. Well, because that was some of the things. All right. So now that we've gotten to know Eli a little bit, and you tell us about some of the books that you have written.
So Abracadabra Inc. started with the novel, basically, 1,000 Nights. And kind of the origin story, just to take you guys back there, was the withdrawal, the NATO withdrawal from Afghanistan. So that's when my company started. And it was born out of the fact that, like, you know, I spent so much time there. I spent 10 deployments there. I spent basically my whole adult life going in and out of that country. And even when I was in the States, we were doing, you know, missions remotely in that country. So that's pretty much all I knew. I was very invested emotionally, and the withdrawal kind of, you know, messed me up a little bit and made me feel a lot of conflicting feelings like a lot of other veterans. And I wanted to help, but I didn't know how. And of course, I would have loved to go in there with Tim Kennedy and like all the special forces dudes who were going in there to fly out the allies, but I'm not qualified for things like that. So I thought, well, let's use your talents to help where you can, and my talent is writing. So I thought, I can tell a story. I will tell the story I've been wanting to tell to show people the beautiful side of Afghanistan. And the novel 1,000 Nights was born. I wrote it in a week, really fast and furious. Just I stayed up pretty much the whole week just writing, and I believed in it so much that I kind of went all in. I quit my contracting job. I started the company and I rolled it out.
Well done.
Thank you.
Well done to you. Very well done. And I don't know that I would have wanted to go back in there with Tim Kennedy and all those guys either. It sounded like it was a very bad place after what happened. So,
Yes.
Yeah, there are people meant for that. I'm not that people.
I'm not that person either, Rob. In my heart, I think that I am, but in my reality, I am not that person.
Well, I totally get you. What do you call it? So poetry. First of all, I love veteran authors, and I love that so many of our peers are putting pen to paper these days. We are really big fans around here of the Dead Poets, Dead Reckoning Collective. Dead Reckoning Collective. We like them a lot. Tax 16 Publishing. All these folks that are doing these things, and vets are venting. This is therapy for them, and I absolutely love that for them. And they're producing some really, really good books. What is the one? Cigarette Joe or Camel Joe out of yeah. What a great book, man, and well done. Is your writing your therapy for you?
It is a little bit, but what I've come to discover is it's more my way of helping other veterans process their feelings. So, for example, the poetry and how you found me, Dust Storms and Danger Close, the war poems in specific. There it is. Yes. So I never really intended to write poetry, to be honest with you. I maybe wrote 1 or 2 my whole life up until about maybe a year ago. And I had posted on Veterans Day, I just said, okay, I'll just make a little poem about my service. And I posted it on Facebook, not thinking really a whole lot of it. And a lot of my family and friends that were in the military, they said, this is exactly how I feel. This is what I went through. This was my journey, but I've never been able to express it. So can I share this? Can I repost it? So it got all these shares and reposts, and there was a few people who were like, oh, when's your book coming out? Your war poems book coming out? And I thought, that's crazy. I'm never gonna do that. But only like a day later, I was like, hell yeah, I'm all in. And I think maybe a month later, I had my first one out, Hookah, Smoke, and Hellfire. So yes, to answer your question, it did help me a little bit process. And I didn't realize that until I actually like hit publish. It was very fucking scary, to be honest with you. But that's when kind of like the waves of emotion hit for me. But it was more so I wrote it very like tactfully and responsibly. Like, how can I tell everybody's story to the best of my ability from that wider, Overwatch perspective, so that they can take this book and show it to their spouse or their mom and be like, I was never able to tell you this. I didn't have the words. This is what I went through.
So, well, and I wanted to potentially, just highlight some of your poems here on the show and potentially read some of them.
Yes.
It doesn't matter what page I crack open. If I start reading, I get a little misty-eyed. And I'm not doing that on my radio show. I'm not doing that. So,
do it. Let it out, Rob. Come on.
My heartstrings.
Yes.
But this stuff is powerful, dude. It is super powerful. You are the voice of your generation. Very well done to you.
Thank you. That's the highest compliment. And my favorite compliment is when I make people cry. And I know that sounds wrong, but whenever people tell me, oh, you made me cry, I'm like, yes. Especially when I make the big tough dudes cry. I'm like, and good job to you, by the way. Yeah, big tough guy with the broken nose. Good job.
Oh, that was our interview with Eli.
Good job, by the way, reading that. Like, I'm proud of anybody who reads it. To be honest, like, frankly, the men, because that's why I use this pen name Eli, because it's scientifically, like, statistically proven men are less likely to pick up a book written by a woman, especially one about this kind of topic. So when guys pick it up and they give it a chance, I know that it affects them, and they've told me that, and it's a super huge compliment. So anyways, thank you is what I'm saying. I appreciate that.
It's really good stuff. Yeah, I'm not doing that. What do you call it? So I have a very good friend that has been thinking about writing a book on raising bulldog puppies. I know it's going to be a bestseller. Like Roger and Me or something. I don't know. I'm making shit up. What do you call it? Let's say that he wants to write this book. How does he go about the process, A, of writing said book, and B, getting this book into the hands of others?
Yes. Okay. Here we go. So first thing I would say is figure out your reason for writing the book. So do you want to do it because you want to make money? Or because you have an adorable puppy? Yes, I see it. So, or is it just for you and your family, whatever? So figure out your intentions. That's kind of gonna affect what route you go. So you could do traditional publishing, like the big publishing houses, like Penguin. Can't think of any others right now, and they handle all your marketing for you if you can get into like that exclusive club. So they'll advertise, they'll do your marketing, they'll set up book tours, they'll give you, royalties, and they'll take a huge cut. Like, I think it's like 75 or 80%. So yes, it's bananas. It's crazy. Wow. So you could do that. That's going to take a really long time too, because first you have to get an agent, and then the agent has to find your publisher. And once you get a publisher, it'll take another 1 to 2 years to come out on bookshelves. So, or you can self-publish, and that's basically open to anyone. That doesn't mean you should turn out a shitty project, right? You need to hire freelance editors. Those are super easy to hire. A freelance cover designer, if you don't know how to do that. You can outsource all those things. Just, you yourself focus on the story. To be honest with you, you can even outsource your story these days to ghostwriters, but I personally don't recommend that. So as far as writing the actual story goes, I don't think I have a very logical process. Some writers write every day.
There's nothing.
That's true. Yes. Some writers write every day and they make themselves like, I'm going to write 5,000 words a day. I'm going to sit down from 9 to 5, no matter what, like discipline. I am more of a I'm chasing the muses kind of person. So I will write like fast and furious in like days long spurts or weeks long spurts, definitely fueled on energy drinks and write all day long. And then I won't write for like 3 weeks or like 3 months. So it just kind of depends on what your style is as a person. I am a little bit of a scatterbrain. So hope that helps.
Pretty sure all the community have that.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But
Go ahead. What?
if for whoever's listening though, and I know what you said is so true. I'm so proud of our generation of veterans. We're the first ones really leaning into all these creative therapy programs, especially the writing. And anybody who thinks they have a story, like hell yeah, write it down. I think Amanda might have mentioned this too in hers, like if you want to make jewelry or whatever, you don't have to share it with anybody necessarily. You can make that decision later. But Dead Reckoning, I super love them. You probably noticed they're featured in my books in the middle. And they have, like on their social medias, they have a bunch of writing prompts.
Yep.
So yeah, anybody who wants to write, just go look up some writing prompts and do a little scribble and just sit with it. See how you feel about it. If you want to submit it somewhere, submit it to them. If you want to self-publish, hell yeah, I say go for it.
What a great Invader Girl.
Yes. So I think that's another one that I found through you guys. So I watched her interview also. Yeah, super kick-ass. I followed her immediately. And I definitely at some point will need to, when I get like super rich, one day, I will get a bunch of her artwork.
We're on the you're on the exact. I use it as a thing on my phone because I can't afford to purchase it because it's so awesome. But yeah,
It's so awesome. And for me, it's exactly like my style because it's real, but it's also like kind of dark and it's got just a little bit of the magical realism. So that's what I'm about. I'm a sucker for that.
Do you remember when we interviewed Morgan?
Yes.
It sounded pretty echoey on Facebook. It's hard to hear. Oh, really? Shit. All right. Oh well. I'll have to work on that one. We interviewed Dan Horgan probably 2 months ago or so, and he pops up on the screen, and Homeboy's got an Invader Girl painting behind him in the office. And I'm like, small world, man. I love what we're doing. So
it is a small world because once you follow one of us, you'll see all the other ones that we follow because we just follow each other because we're like, hell yeah, brother, like hell.
Uh-oh, are you leaving?
Oh yeah. Sister.
Sorry, you cut out a little bit. Are you still there? Did I lose you?
Follow you, and I'm gonna follow you. And it's just, I'm here.
Okay, just making sure. All right. I agree. So a generation is defined by its art and only its art. People go to museums. I mean, nobody. Which sadly, that means our generation is going to be defined by some of our shitty music. So,
yeah, the era of Guns N' Roses has passed us on.
Thank God.
Yes.
Are you a Guns N' Roses fan?
Yes. Hell yes, of course I am.
See,
I don't get
the
it.
only dude in the world, bro.
Why? Who looked at Axl Rose and was like, "My God, you have an amazing singing voice. Have you ever thought about being in a band?" No, it sounds like somebody's choking a cat.
Artist perspective, man, and your perspective just happens to be wrong on this one.
Sweet Jesus. I don't get it. All right, so at this point, everyone listening and watching is like, dude, how do I find this stuff? Where can I find this chick? How do I get a hold of all this stuff? So talk us through it. Where's the best way to track you down? And where's the best way to buy all this cool stuff?
So I put can they see my name tag?
Yes, they can.
Okay, so
reading are listening on the radio.
Oh yes, my Instagram is at Abracadabra Inc. and Cadabra is spelt with a K. So, or you could just like throw in Google, author Eli Gardner, that'll take you there too. And once you get there, that's pretty much where I am the most active. I try and post every day. Bonus because I also post cute videos of my rescue horses. So lucky, lucky followers. And in my bio is my link tree for all my books and stuff. But basically, they're all available on Amazon and they're all super easy to get and find from Amazon.
Now, the horse doing or you?
What did you say, Rob? Say that again.
I never know. I said, horses do the rescuing or you rescue the
Oh, yes. Great question. Well, it's such a cliche, but definitely, like my intent was to rescue them, like a egocentric human. I was like, yeah, hell yeah, let me get these 4 horses from the Texas kill pen. I got them all at the same time. And I was like, let's, get you better. And it just so happened that like a week later, it ushered in like really one of the darkest periods of my life. And the horses, like the fact that I had to go out there every day and help the horses put on weight and get better, that it definitely kept me around, probably.
See now,
Say that again.
I said this could be a whole nother show. I like stories like this. Are we hard to hear? Because we're getting feedback that we are.
Not for the most part, but every now and then you'll fade out a little bit.
Crap. All right. Good to know. Well, Seth would like to talk to you for a few minutes.
Yes. Let's hear it. One shot.
So we're at the end of our time with you. We'll give you 2 minutes, your time to shine. I think you've heard this before. She's like, get it over. We don't time you. Have fun. Tell us what we missed.
Okay, cool. I would like to read to you guys since you can't go anywhere. Is that okay?
Oh God.
Can I try and make you cry real quick?
Not gonna happen, bro.
Ah, damn. Okay.
Black dog and my jiu-jitsu black belt on both sides.
Okay. Well, you get away this time. You ready?
Bring
Okay.
what you got.
All right. So this one's from Hookah Smoke and Hellfire, actually. And it's called Meet Me at the Smoke Pit. Okay.
Damn it, that's the page I opened to.
Okay, here we go. Today was crazy. The mission was tough. Things got a little dicey. I could see your hands shaking. I could feel the tension rolling off of you in waves. It was a very long day. Someone asked you to play the Grim Reaper, and that job wasn't meant for mortals. There's a reason that cloak feels heavy, but you can take it off now. Meet me at the bonfire. We'll gather around the smoke pit. I'll light you a fire from the scrap wood we've collected around base. Yes, the smoke doesn't burn very clear in this part of the desert, when all we have to burn is bits of trash and rubbish, but it will warm you all the same. And you can stare into the flames, and I will be there beside you in case you want to talk. But most likely we won't talk about it. Most likely I'll distract you with silly stories. I'll make a fool of myself at whatever cost just to see you smile. I'll tell you embarrassing things. We will skim around on the surface of the issue. We can talk of home and the things we'll do when we return. Come, let me build you a fire. We can smoke cigarettes all night, even though we rarely smoke back home, even though we're due back for another mission in the morning. I will happily forgo sleep if the result is your smile and a lightened heart. So meet me at the smoke pit and leave the Grim Reaper cloak at work. Did I get him? One shot?
You're not invited back.
Yes. Oh, my heart. Good, good, good.
You're not invited back. I hope you enjoyed your time.
I did. I will remember it forever.
That's some bullshit right there.
And I gotta be honest, I went a little easy on you guys because I was having a hard time choosing which poem, and there was some heavy hitters, and I thought, well, I'll choose this one. It's not as crazy.
How the fuck did you do that?
I know, but I feel like it sums up really well, kind of, just the veterans circling around and being like, hey, I got you. Like, if you want to talk about it, we can, but we don't have to. We can smoke and joke. We're all super good at that. But like, at some point, I'm here for you when you need to talk.
Jessica says, if it makes you feel any better, I read her books multiple times and cried through all of them.
Yes.
Yeah, another of our regular listeners. Hey, Rob's got allergies. Oh, goodness. Yeah. So, well, you're not invited back, so we'll have to see you on the other side.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have been talking with Eli Gardner. If you have not gotten her books yet, you absolutely need to. If you're not on the gram, go find, open up your kid's phone instead. Find her on the gram. Order all 5 of her books. What does the future look like, Eli? You got another one coming?
Oh, it's so exciting. Yes. Frankly, I just can't stop writing, and I can't stop writing these damn poems, but there'll probably be at least 2 more books before the end of the year. 1 poetry, 1 novel. There might be 3. We'll kind of have to see. But it's not just books either. Like, I'm planting a whole bunch of seeds. I want to turn 1,000 Nights into a movie or a miniseries. I've, recently been trying to break into that movie making community as well. So I'm an ambitious gal. I'm not going to stop with books. I've also written some songs. And then the end goal is to, return all this or funnel all this money back into my own future nonprofit and a ranch retreat for veterans and rescue.
Well, I would say excellent nonprofit called About Face Media. Extremely attractive people. You should definitely check them out. And yeah, they love and they are doing all the same things that you are doing. So we should definitely connect. Even though you're never invited on the show again, you should definitely connect with them, and we will set you up for success and do good things with each other. Does that sound like a plan?
Hell yeah. And I already checked it out, by the way. I'm already following you guys.
You got to find something better to do with your time. And we'll be when Roger and Me comes out on big screen. So hopefully
yeah.
there won't be any copyright issues. Isn't that a movie, Roger and Me? I think it is.
I think you're thinking of Marley and Me.
Marley and Me.
Roger and Me sounds way better.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
It does. It does.
Eli, thanks a lot for being on part of the show. I really appreciate you giving up time on your Monday night. If you ever tell anyone I cried, I'll kill you.
Okay, sounds good.
Have a great
anything. All right, bye guys. Take care.
Bye.
Well, I hated that interview.
I got pumped like right at the end of the interview. I was like, all right, I'm gonna find it real quick. And I it's all like, well, not all, but there's like a bunch of horse and like rural stuff, which I like.
Yes, I do. I very much do. Yes. That was a good one. That was a very good one. And her book they are tough to get through. I bought 3 of them at the time, and I've gotten through 1, and this one has been sitting on my coffee table, and I read like a page at a time, and then can't pick it up again for like a while.
Yeah.
So for obvious reasons, but yeah. Craig Stackowitz is listening. Eric Reed, you have feedback on your stream. We are going to get.
It sounds good now. I think.
Let
us
audio
know if
fixed.
it sounds better now.
We have all the stuff for the audio. Our friends with Warriors Next Adventure hooked us up. We have all the stuff. Now it's a matter of making it all work. That becomes our obstacle. So yeah, whatever, man. We are going to take a quick smoke break. And yeah, we'll be back in just a few minutes. Sounds great. That's what I like to hear from our friends.
Back to normal.
We're back to normal. Yes. Well,
sounding great.
Exactly. So yeah, quick potty break, and we'll be back in just a few minutes.
Ugh, I hate these big-ass prices.
Sounds like you could use some big-ass savings.
You're finally back at her place for a little brown chicken brown cow when you get hit with love potion number 2.
Are you okay?
You skipped the loo before that keister kangaroo jumps out of its pouch. Now, what do you do?
Hurry up, come on. Come on, I'm on a date. This isn't happening right now.
You let that badonka-donk honk-a-honk and strike a match in the hopes you won't strike out. But alas, your chance of date number 2 just went up in flames.
Are you okay?
Do you have insurance? Just wondering.
It smells like burnt hair and blue cheese.
I got it.
Are you positive?
Don't worry about it.
Are you sure you're okay?
Everybody good? All right.
So,
Everybody get a little pee in? Hey, folks, you know who I haven't talked to in a while? We haven't talked to Allie in a hot minute. Let's talk to Allie. Hey, Aloysius.
Hi. How we doing?
Better now that you're here. What's up, DOW?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm not in my super secret squirrel location, but motherly duties have called, and therefore I'm in the car.
Okay.
Not breaking any laws because we're hands-free.
That's okay. Did you have something that everybody's been missing you? So we know you explaining that you've been busy. And
I miss you guys too. Yeah, so I had to pick up a weekend job, and I work overnight doing what my background is in, executive protection. And so we got a real big name client who is here on the Cape for the summer, and doing that. I need a sugar daddy. I need a sugar daddy without the sugar.
More importantly, I saw you on your other radio show the other day. How is that going? And we
What going?
I said I saw you on that other radio show the other day.
How's what going? Oh yeah, yep. So it's on AM radio. It's Ask Your Veterans Agent, and we're slowly transitioning to me taking over because my co-host is no longer a veteran service officer. You guys hear me okay?
Yes. Yes.
There's no Wi-Fi in this extreme.
Okay. So, yeah, it's fine. Senator Moulton's office actually reached out, and so they're doing a Democratic something convention, and they asked me to speak, and I'm like, yo, no, I'm not a registered Democrat, right? What do you want me to talk about?
That's fine.
yeah, sounds good.
Okay, cool. Yeah. And
so August 14th, I'll be speaking at the National something Democratic something. I don't know. I love you. That's fine.
awesome.
I'll see you tomorrow. Jumping my son off. So I do want to talk about the negative comments that I've been receiving on my TikTok. And I know it just doesn't happen to me. It happens to a lot of people who are providing information and who are providing free services. The amount of people that come and attack me because they think that I am wrong, but then to threaten to rip my throat out and shove your member down my throat is just completely unacceptable. So
no one dislike. Oh, did we lose her? Please tell me that didn't just happen. We lost her. Damn. No one hates on veterans as much as other veterans, and that drives me bananas. Yes. Why do we beat each other down so aggressively?
Just to be honest, sometimes I look at some shit, I'm like, what the fuck is the matter with you? But
that's accountability, and I'm a huge fan of accountability.
But
that's why I talk to you.
But on the flip side, what the fuck is the matter with me to attack that person then? Unless you have stolen valor.
We don't know anyone like that.
I have no problems, throwing Joel Cunt underneath the fucking bus and going back and forth. I don't just put it in reverse.
Every show. I love that you fit it in on every show.
Back and forth.
But I don't understand why we do that to ourselves, to each other as a population.
I also feel like when you're attacking somebody, especially like we're in the day of age of social media, when you're attacking somebody, does anybody realize that makes you look like an asshole? It really doesn't even make, even if the other, let's say this person is wrong, is 4 flat tires, all right, or he's as wrong as a football bat, whatever however you want to say it. This person might be in the right, but just attacking somebody nonstop online, like the person that's the ass in the first place isn't anymore the ass for me. It's the fucking guy attacking, or girl. I'm not sexist.
Yeah, we're losing the point because
in between, whatever, all of you,
you're too focused on the other jerk.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're exactly right. You're exactly right. And worse than that, our community and population is doing amazing things for our whole communities. We have veterans running for office, publishing books, running law offices, all kinds of great stuff. They are the future of our nation. When we had what was that dude's name on? We had the dude from Ranger Up. I can't think of his name off the top of my head anymore. Nick something or other from Ranger Up. I'm surprised your nose isn't whistling when you speak. See? Fucking friends. When we had him on, he talked about how small businesses are the engine of our nation. And I agree with it. Don't fucking laugh at his jokes. Well, maybe it's time to shut comments off.
Okay. I held the tears back earlier. Now I got him coming laughing at you.
Oh, good. Glad to hear it. Very glad to hear it. Whatever, man. But yeah, so good things coming from it. In the meantime, veterans, let's help each other out, build each other up. Let's stop beating each other down. Don't go online and threaten our friends like Allie. Don't do that. There's nothing good that's going to come from that. She's giving you the best that she can with the tools that she has. Even if she's incorrect on something, which is extremely unlikely, speak nicely. Be nice to people. Why would you do that way? Should have went with the stitches, and a plastic surgeon could have fixed everything. Yeah, whatever, man.
There's some things plastic surgeons
just can't do. So I have this. So my nose has been broken so many times that I can reset it. Ooh, let's not do that. I can reset it myself. And yeah, that tends to skeeve people out, which I tend to like. So whatever. That's a whole nother story. In the meantime, we should definitely
bring somebody on smarter
than us. Bring somebody on who's significantly smarter than us. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce you to one of my favorite people on the planet, Doug O'Connell with O'Connell West Law.
Doug, hey guys. Good. Can you hear me okay?
I hear you perfectly. Can you hear us?
Yeah, excellent.
Audio has been a challenge this evening, so I appreciate your patience.
No problem at all.
So,
how are you guys doing?
Well, other than the face, not too terrible. So, but yeah. But I saw your post earlier. It sounds like you had a huge victory today.
Well, it was a long day in court, and there's a lesson to be learned, and so I'm happy to share it. So when you have sex with a underage person, the terminology may change from state to state, but it's generally considered sexual assault of a child. And that is a criminal offense that is what we call a strict liability crime. Strict liability crime, meaning it doesn't matter if you thought the person you were having sex with was of the age of consent. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what they told you. Doesn't matter what you believed. What matters is they were underage, and you're going to be held accountable for that regardless. So today we spent hours and hours and hours in court. Our client was looking at probably 30 years in prison, 30 years to do in the big house, register for life as a sex offender. And so, basically he was screwed. But we fought back and we were able to show that the DNA sample that the government collected was not our guy's DNA. It was a different man. And so that helped. But we were still faced with a huge obstacle in that our guy confessed. He gave a honest statement to law enforcement that said, yeah, it happened, but I thought she was this age. So we still had a significant problem to overcome. In the end, we were able to get a plea bargain deal down from first-degree felony, sexual assault of a child, to third-degree injury to a child, and get a 3-year deferred adjudication probation. So at the end of the day, that means our guy gets out of jail, and as long as he stays out of trouble for 3 years, he won't be convicted, and he doesn't have to register as a sex offender, and he basically gets another shot at life.
I'm a little torn at that one, but okay.
I can understand.
I'll bet you can. Knowing who you are and knowing your character, I'll bet you can. You have a tough job that I would not envy.
And, so the way I look at it is if you talk me into being your lawyer, I'm going to fight like hell. And sometimes all my fighting may amount to nothing, although generally it does. But once you're a client, then your problems are my problems, and I'm going to fight like I'm the guy with something to lose. And so that's what we did today, and it worked out well for our guy.
Glad to hear it. Very glad to hear it. What else is going on in the veteran law world that we should have our eyes on and be looking towards?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm fairly smoked, so I'm not going to have a lot of good information tonight. I can tell you I'm excited. We're going to have a new attorney joining us. He's a badass lawyer and a veteran, and still in the Army Reserve as a JAG. I don't want to make a public announcement tonight because he's still employed somewhere else. We're stealing him away. But he's going to be a great addition to our team. And then, all the rest of the cast of characters, they're still kicking ass.
I love how you have grown this from the time that you have retired to what you have now. It's extremely impressive to watch.
Yeah, so we're building something where more and more, hopefully, ideally, I'll be able to step back and not carry as much of a load, but help other people succeed.
Well, Doug, we tend to end every show with a safety brief, and your lawyers have had some of the best stuff to put out during the safety brief. Obviously, for this week's safety brief, ladies and gentlemen, you have a long, full work week. There are no shortened weeks this week. As you spend your time in the gym, remember to move the barbell around your head, not your head around the barbell. And remember that noses are softer than barbells.
Awesome.
Just my humble suggestion. What you got?
I was really wanting to do that one.
Sorry, man.
You took it away. You knew better.
Well, I mean, kind of. I mean, it was pretty obvious, I would think.
Oh, man.
So, Doug, what do you got?
Yeah, Doug's got number 2 now.
So, hey, here's the deal. Even if you don't think you did something wrong, it's always, always, always a bad idea to speak with law enforcement without an attorney. Because you may think you didn't do anything wrong. You may think you can explain your circumstance, but 99% of the time, you're just digging your own grave. And so as much as you'd like to, hold off, wait, and just say, I'm happy to talk to you after I get a hold of my attorney. And, I know your all's radio show goes all across the country and all across the world. We don't cover down on all that except for military cases. So, but if you're in a jam, say in Nebraska or Iowa or upstate New York or down in deep South Florida, and you think you need a lawyer and you have no one else to call, you can always call us Because if we don't know somebody in that town, we know somebody close, or we know how to screen people on the internet to weed out who's full of BS and who looks like a legitimate heavy hitter, we'll help you find an attorney. But please don't talk to the cops. They're doing their job, and their job is to gather evidence. And so don't talk to the cops without an attorney. If you need our help, give us a call. Our number is 512-547-7265. I'll say that again, 512-547-7265.
Just like we've been told since the day we set foot in basic training, shut the hell up.
Yeah, always good advice.
You got anything for this week's safety brief? Or is everybody just going to go bananas this week?
Look, go bananas. It's the week.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've been listening to From the Ashes on About Face Radio with our friend Doug O'Connell with O'Connell West Law. You need a lawyer, give him a holler. Hey, stay safe this week, okay? Have a good time. Doug, thanks for being a part of the show. And folks, thanks a lot for listening to the show. Have a great rest of your night.